Alright guys, welcome back, and we're looking today at unit vectors, and this is a very simple subtopic on the vectors. And the first thing we need to know is that a unit vector has a magnitude of 1. So once you hear that a vector is a unit vector, that means that its magnitude is 1, and you know that magnitude means length. So all unit vectors have a magnitude of 1. So let's take a look at our first example. Now here it says a unit vector PQ equals x 0.1. Determine the value of x. A very simple question, so let's tackle this right off the bat. So solution to this question, very straightforward. So to find the magnitude of vector PQ, and remember the denotation for magnitude is that, is equal to the square root of x squared plus 0.1 squared. Remember, those must be in brackets. Now, because we're told that PQ is a unit vector, that means this calculation must be equal to 1 because its magnitude is 1, simply because it's a unit vector. So it means that 1 must be there. Now, all we need to do is simply to make x the subject of the problem and solve for x. So how do we proceed from here? The first thing is to get rid of the square root symbol, and of course if I square both sides of the equation, I'm going to end up with the removal of the square root symbol. What do I mean? For example, if I am told that the square root of x is equal to 3, for argument's sake, and I'm just using x there, I'm just giving a rough example as to what I'm going to do next. If I'm told that the square root of x is 3, then clearly the x should be 9, right? So in order to get rid of the square root, what I'm simply doing is I'm squaring both sides, and of course square is going to cancel square root. So what I would end up with here is 3 squared and x, and of course that will be 9. So what I'm going to do here is simply that, right, in order to get rid of the square root symbol. So getting back to the first example here, all I'm going to do is square both sides, and I'm going to end up with this. The square root symbol is going to go, and this is where I'm going to be at. So I just simply proceed with that. So 1 squared is equal to x squared, and of course 0.7 squared is 0.49. Now how do I proceed from here? It's very simple. All I need to do is to carry over the 0.49. So all I'm going to do here is have 1 squared equals x squared. I'm just writing it back first of all, 0.49. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 0.49 and carry it over. So 1 squared minus 0.49 equals x squared. As simple as that. And of course 1 squared is just 1. And that's what I have so far. Now 1 minus 0.49, that should give you 0.51, and that is equal to x squared. And of course to find x, we simply just have the square root of 0.51, and that should give us the value for x. So the square root of 0.51 is simply 0.71. Right? So therefore the value of x is 0.71. Now a common mistake with these problems is because a common mistake is that students tend to write the units beside it, but we're not finding the magnitude. We already know what the magnitude is. What we're finding is the value of x, and that is just a number. All right, so that's our first example. Let's take a look at another one. And here is example number 2. So again, solution to this problem. Very, very simple. It says vector AB equals 0.4 y. Given vector AB is a unit vector, determine the value of y. And of course, unit vectors have a magnitude of 1. So let's proceed. Now, the first thing we need to do is to write the equation that represents the magnitude of a vector. So it will be 0.4 squared plus y squared. Simple as that. And of course, because you're told that AB is a unit vector, that means the magnitude must be equal to 1. Very, very simple. Okay, so to get rid of the square root symbol now, we're going to square both sides. Again, we're going to end up with this. So far, so good. And of course, 1 squared is 1. And 0.4 squared is 0.16 plus y squared. Very, very, very straightforward. And of course, now our next step will involve moving the 0.16 over to the side where the 1 is. So what we would have is 1 minus 0.16 equals y squared. And 1 minus 0.16 would be 0.84, and that would be equal to y squared. Now, the square root of 0.84 will be equal to y. And the square root of 0.84 is simply 0.92. And that is the value of y. Very, very straightforward questions involving unit vectors. Very, very a popular question that used to be a part of paper 2, and it also can be given as a question in paper 1. All right. Okay. Final example. It says unit vector RT equals x 0.9, determine the value of x. So let's just get this done as quickly as possible. Now, the magnitude of vector RT is equal to the square root of x squared plus 0.9 squared. It's a unit vector, so it must be equal to 1. Simple as that. And to get rid of the square root symbol, we simply square both sides. And of course, 1 squared is just 1. 0.9 squared is 0.81. And then what we need to do now is solve for x. Very, very, very simple. So we're going to move the 0.81 over. So that's going to be 1 minus 0.81 is equal to x squared. And of course, 1 minus 0.81 is 0.19. And of course, square root of 0.19 will give us the value of x. And on your calculator, the square root of 0.19 is simply equal to 0.44. And that is that. So this is the concept of unit vectors. All unit vectors have a magnitude of 1, which means once a vector is referred to as being a unit vector, its magnitude must be equal to 1. I hope you guys found this video insightful, and I'll see you guys on the next video.